Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your Venus in Taurus 2024 transit talk. This is the Peace Dealer. All right. Um, First of all, I'd just like to, what's the word? Tune in. I want to tune in right now. I want to connect with you guys. Um, Shout out to Virgo Goddess. Take your time catching up with the other videos. It's best to watch these transit talks at least 3 times. All right. And you don't have to watch the whole thing. But given that I give a lot of gems, I drop a lot of gems in these, you definitely want to come back at least 3 times, beginning, during, and after. Shout out to Miss Kiki. And just kind of ingrain them. These transit talks, once again, are tools with which you can take the information and make it whatever you want. So I don't necessarily want you to think that what I'm saying is gospel and it's going to happen just like this. I'm just giving you my angelic Gemini perspective. That's my individual perspective, like a messenger who's giving you a message. The way you perceive reality and go through this life is going to be unique to you. So yeah, I'm gonna bring Sir Oreo back. So yeah, just once again reminding you, this dissemination of information is purely in service to you, so that you can do what you feel is proper for you to do with it. Magic Cat, happy birthday! And the first thing I want to bring up is that the moon is on Chronos right now. So as we are kicking in this 300-degree angle and Venus has squared Pluto. That's the first thing we're going to talk about. 90-degree square to Pluto. Ask yourself, what do you believe in? What do you believe about yourself? And what do you believe you're worth? Because you have just signed a subconscious contract once every 28 days with the moon and Saturn that is helping you understand relative to the previous 28-day cycle as we shift awareness with the sun every degree, every day, every 30 days, a new season. What is the integrity of your beliefs? What is the system of your beliefs? This entire Saturn in Pisces is you riding Noah's Ark as we depart from one facet of the culture, South Node Libra, and create a new sense of authenticity. Everything you're seeing in entertainment and politics is actually playing out this heavenly drama in the skies. Really is battle of the gods right now. That's why you see a lot of Scorpio and Gemini motifs. Scorpio and Geminis working together to make number ones, and Scorpios feuding with Geminis in the elections and even in hip hop. But if you think that it's just these two, this is where I ask for you to look in your life, because this is playing out everywhere. All right. And now that Venus has squared Pluto, now that the moon has crossed over Saturn, if you're not about that life, please take shelter. All right. Things are about to get very nuclear everywhere. And I don't necessarily mean as far as like someone's dropped a bomb. I mean, as far as like the conversations we're getting ready to have and the descent deeper into the layers of facets of culture that have been swept under the rug for maybe over 2 centuries are getting ready to blow up in everyone's face as we reconfigure and redefine the effects of colonialism and neocolonialism and everything as a consequence that has brought. And when I say consequence, I don't even mean that colonialism is a bad thing. It's just a thing that happened where you live right now. The territories that you are citizens of right now are all a consequence of the major global activity and territory establishment that has happened since the 1700s and that era. And I'm only referencing that because we're doing it again. All right. So this is getting ready to bring in a whole new era. All right. One thing that I heard about, leaked as far as like, and this is just an example, certain people connected to APAC and this whole element of, controlling the narrative around Hamas and Palestine. one thing that was said that was very key to me that let me know what time it is you hear someone saying the issue isn't between the left and the right. When it comes to this information, the issue isn't between the left and the right. It's between the old and the young. And you're seeing this man be troubled because Gen Z, Pluto Sagittarius children on TikTok are running with a narrative that they're not able to control, that many of them feel that Palestine is in the right. I'm not saying anything that I'm saying to choose or talk about Palestine and Israel. And thank you, Nina. I just got your chart and your Cash App. Everything that I'm saying is to remind you Pluto Sagittarius, you guys are like the older generation is terrified of you guys. I'm using that as an example. Yes, Tim Scott. I don't know if it was Tim Scott. It was somebody who got leaked that kind of alluded to why they're trying to buy TikTok. Now, I'm not going to get into the politics of who's trying to buy TikTok. What I want to talk to you about is the older generation is terrified of you guys. And this is something that I've seen over 5 years ago. Everyone born after 95 with Pluto and Sag, and then Uranus and Neptune and Aqua, you guys are here to completely create a whole new world. And the rest of the decade, you're coming into your power. You're coming into your Saturn return. So I'm using that as an example to show how Pluto Sagittarius is not going to be manipulated like previous generations. The Pluto Scorpios have sowed the seeds and given wisdom to Pluto Sag to run with. And then with Pluto Libra, what you'll find with Pluto Libras, those born like in the 70s, in the early 80s, you have Pluto Libras that are siding with the older generation, and then you have Pluto Libras who are siding with the new generation, depending on what scale they are on. All right. Not to say it's that black and white, but I'm just letting you know this. Revolution is here, and it's the next generation that's going to bring this. These people are terrified. Imagine the millions of children from different cultures who are running with a narrative that goes against the established mainstream story that people are being told to run with. Okay. So just letting you know that Pluto Virgo, Pluto Libra, Pluto Scorpio, y'all are in this too. But I'm just telling you right now, this Pluto Sagittarius generation of children born after 95, they are coming for all of your necks. They are coming to burn up everything that you felt was normal. And this is all destined. Nothing can stop what's coming. This is why they have to use Pluto Sagittarius children to establish more of this agenda as the war is between your kids. All right. How can we poison the minds of the youth to steer certain narratives? And you are seeing all the places set, all the pieces set. And this is where I'm saying, once again, if you're not like that, stay inside. Please stay inside. Do not necessarily put yourself out there if you're not prepared to defend that on values that you stand on. Because I think for so long, much cultural conversation relative to race, relative to politics, have been deep, but so much of it has been swept under the rug. And moving forward, it's all getting ready to progressively just blow up in everyone's face. And this is where, if you're not really like that, this is going to completely like be exposed. You know what I'm saying? If you're just kind of piggybacking off of certain topics and themes because you feel strongly about it, but you don't really know what you're talking about, please just fall back. Stay in your lane, play your role. And I'm saying that as much to me as much as I'm saying to you. All right. What is basing me to say this? Moon is on Saturn. The last time we had a 29-degree Neptune Pisces was around the 1800s, where in with the Dred Scott decision, Black people were still fighting for the right to be seen as equal. And I cannot harp the significance of that versus now, where now unvaccinated people are the new Black. No, I'm joking. Where now, of course, these themes are coming back around. And now we're seeing a continuation of what has led from not just one group of people, but the entire cultural conversation around all of the themes around that period. We can even take it back to 95 and 94, the last time Saturn was in Pisces. Some of you guys are kids. Some of you guys had just turned 30 and just received your Saturn return. So buckle up. All right. Mars is sextiling Pluto on the nodes. I'm not going to talk about hip hop beef, but let me just keep it a buck with you. Trump is facing Biden. Okay. Right now, we're 1-1. Trump beat Hillary, Biden beat Trump. This is the deal breaker. And a third party candidate might take it away if we don't even have elections. Mind you, I'm not really on either side. You could argue that both sides are bought out by a certain group of people, but I'm not really looking at this as a popularity contest as far as who needs to be in office. Personally, I'm not making this political, but President Trump has Uranus in Gemini. And if he's in office while Uranus returns into Gemini post 2026, that's going to be entirely different than if someone else is in office. So, watch my previous videos if you need context. But Drake has North Node in Aries. Kendrick Lamar has North Node in Aries. Right now, the North Node in Aries. If you don't know that this is beyond rap, if you don't know that this is the battle of the gods here, this is destiny right now, deciding what sentiment leads culture moving forward, then you don't know what South Node in Libra is. And that's cool because everyone's going to get reintroduced to a new attitude era. All right. And the reason why this is very, very important, I'm just using that as an example, is where do you fall into this? You don't necessarily have to be super invested in Iran or Iraq or Palestine or hip hop or any of what's happening, because the real most important thing is who are you and what are you doing. And as this brings in this Venus and Taurus transit, this is going to now solidify a new cycle of abundance that's going to establish a new precedent moving forward. This is kind of like a new app or a piece of technology, quite literally changing the game moving forward as Jupiter will step into Gemini, where the last time during 2012, a lot of conspiracy theories came out that later we realized weren't really theories. All right. So this is hella deep, guys. I'm just going to talk about Venus and Taurus, but I really want you to understand, forget what other people are telling you. Forget this smoke screen and mirrors where a lot of people all around the world are still in denial. The world as you know it is ending. The world as you know it is ending. The world as you know it is ending. Okay? Before, a Gutenberg printing press never existed. The Gutenberg printing press was one of the most revolutionary innovations humanity has ever experienced. Okay? And then, of course, we had the Industrial Revolution. All right? And then we had the information age, where now internet and streams are making newspapers, radio, and TV obsolete. So what happens when we now step into another revolution, AI influenced or not? I'm not really about to start predicting what that is, but I think it's time for us to accept that all of the themes of culture over the past century are dead, dying, present progressive. Being in between can feel weird, where you're still embracing facets of culture that will never, ever, ever, ever be relevant again. Okay. And, instead of kind of looking at what's bad or what's good, ask yourself, who are you? What is authentic to you? Right now, you may not realize you are on the pulse of innovation. Think about things that we use today as household items and names. Think about Amazon. Do you think, yeah, he probably knew. But think about Amazon that started off at the back of a trunk versus what it is today. Ladies and gentlemen, Venus and Taurus 2024, I want to say that you are Jeff Bezos selling Amazon in the back of your truck, okay? Or Herbalife. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he started at the back of his truck, and this is not the best analogy at all. I think a better analogy would be maybe a startup that isn't really too humble with roots, but think as if you were, you know, Zuckerberg creating Facebook. I want to establish this because the way it started versus the way it is now, you could not have predicted. You could have, but you wouldn't have known outside of just believing in it. And I'm saying Bill Gates in the garage. I'm saying that many of you are in the garage right now. You're in the trunk. You're writing the draft of something that I don't think you may realize may be a leading cultural influence moving forward. It doesn't even have to be like that. It could just be a piece of art, a piece of work. Are you approaching it like that? And all of that is predicate on if you even understand the value that you have. Because if you don't like this is what's going to happen to a lot of people right now if they don't know their worth. This is just a classic example. Some of you can get $1 million deal, okay, and you're going to get that deal and you go on a 5-year run in the industry, okay, versus actually moving forward with an independent label that maybe takes 6 years to really get off the ground, 3 to 6 years to get off the ground, but you've created now a piece of culture that lasts 20, 30, 50 years. Mind you, you could do both. You can have the independent and probably do like a partnership with a label. So I'm not saying you can't do both, but I'm using this example to say many of you may shortchange your value and feel like you're not worth betting on yourself because it's easy to just take the quick $1 million deal and have a corporation do this for you. That being said, some of you, it would be better to sign the deal. I'm not saying that you shouldn't sign deals. Read the contract because a deal is just an agreement. And if you have a good lawyer, there's no reason why any deal shouldn't work for you if you know what you want going in. But I'm using this as an example. What's his face? Tech Nine is a classic example. Look at what Tech Nine did with his label and how he was able to sell it at the right time. You know what I mean? Some of you are working on independent projects that with this square to Pluto, you can cut too early at the first sign of money. Some of you are going to ask yourselves, this is what I own. Okay. Is it worth? So some of you feel that what you have is worth billions of dollars. So would you sell it short for a few million? Because in the moment, those millions of dollars could be life changing. But are you going to sell short your legacy for a few $1 million? Sit with this analogy. All right. Everything about this Taurus energy is slow starts. Think about Rumble. Think about X. You know what I mean? Like Rumble is not going to become YouTube overnight, but now Rumble and X are more of a threat to certain people who cannot control the narratives in these platforms. Everything about the Taurus transit is the humble, slow, brick by brick from the mud beginning that many people don't appreciate because they want things to happen really quick. And this also applies to God's plan on your life and the unique quality and value only you can bring into this world. So, for those of you who know your value and know your worth, I'm not telling you not to sign deals. I think realistically, you may be able to do both. Just be very wise in how you navigate. I'm telling you, please know your worth. And please, I am begging you, okay? Bet on yourself and do not be so caught up by quick rewards and riches that you sell yourself short on long-term wealth and legacy. All right. Personally, it depends on your preference. Some people wouldn't mind just going in and getting out. They had their 5-year run. They made enough money from it. It's life changing. Nothing is wrong with that at all. Some people may want maybe 3 to 6 years to get something off the ground, and now it lasts for 3 decades, maybe close to a century. Their children inherit it because they own that. So it's not just a deal they took that they don't have ownership with. Not everyone is meant to be in ownership, but you are in ownership of your life and consciousness. And what this Taurus season is reminding you is, how much do you value that? How much do you give away your power? All right. Venus, we did Mars. Okay, Cheryl, thank you for the snapshot transit forecast. I do have the snapshot available. Dominic, I got your chart. For those of you who want a chart reading, click the description box below. I wasn't going to talk about this too soon, but Cheryl has, what's the word? Drawn first blood. That's not the word I wanted to use though. But basically, but basically, I do have the Venus in Taurus transit available for the first 14 people, because Cheza out of nowhere has gotten the first one. They're all automatically 50% off. If you want a 15-minute breakdown, you must know that I got you. And I'm going to read the goddamn crap out of your chart. All right. My chart reading skills are on a whole nother level now. Like, I don't know. Once I introduced that mathematics to it, it's nobody is fucking with me. I'm gonna be completely honest. That's not to say that there aren't better astrologers than I am. I can definitely name a few off of one hand, but ain't nobody fucking with the peace dealer. I'm just letting you know that right now. The rest of this decade, I'm about to put a step on his neck. All right, I don't have to say that. But yeah, basically, what I want to talk about with this Venus and Taurus transit is feminine sexuality. We did Mars, that's masculine sexuality. And I don't really talk a lot about the aggression and assertion and assertiveness, but I will talk about feminine sexuality, which exists in men and women, and also your natural worth and value. In a nutshell, after Venus leaves Taurus, the way that you sit on your value and worth as it goes through Jupiter and Uranus is going to, oh my God, the sun is on my Venus right now, is going to quintessentially evolve and innovate how much more stubborn you are about what you're worth. After this Venus in Taurus, you can turn down $1 billion. A lot of people cannot turn down $1 billion. You're going to be able to do that. This is polishing the quality of your value. And you don't have to turn down $1 billion. Like, if you can take $1 billion deal, if it works with your agreement. So I'm just necessarily saying, like, if you can turn down $1 billion if you're having to do something that goes against your compromise. All right, Rosa, thank you very much. I got your report. So now I have 13 seats left. Yep, I got 13 seats left. Oh, one of them didn't schedule. I'm going to do that for you. Yeah, I got you. Some shit just cringeworthy. Ain't really gotta be deep, I guess. Hold on. Still loving you, see success. There we go. Rosa, I got you scheduled for 10:30 a.m. All right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, guys. Oh, nice. I might have to check that out. Reflection. Let me see. Yep. I got you, reflection. So this is such a dope trend. I feel like the rest of this spring season is going to be quite literally so rewarding for all of you guys. Let's talk a little bit about the math about this. What's happening now is activation. Okay. You are Jack sowing magic beanstalks. The innovation of Uranus and Jupiter is going to drive up this growing near instantly. So from now until August, the seeds you are sowing relative to the quality and value in yourself, until we get to Leo season on stage, right, where we're performing socially opposite Pluto, the extreme pressure from the audience and judges, you're going to take the seeds you're sowing now and they're going to grow through the ground. And then in August, they're going to break through the ground. And then from August to November, they're going to integrate. You're going to integrate and nurture how you've planted these seeds. And then from November to February, this is going to be the harvest of unexpected windfalls of income. Okay. Unexpected windfalls of money. So the money can start now, like in advance. But please understand, everything we're doing now is a 6-month activation and integration cycle. This is increasing the quality of your self-confidence to where, once again, cultural themes that used to work earlier when a lot more people were stupid and asleep, they're not going to work a lot more now that Pluto's in Aquarius and people are awakening to who they are. This is reflected in your confidence, where the psychological, and that's the beautiful thing about Scorpio opposite Taurus. The light side of Scorpio is purity. The dark side of Scorpio is psychological manipulation. The psychological manipulation of society, Scorpio, a social sign, versus your natural Taurus individual quality, is you now looking at the psychological tactics people will take to undervalue yourself. If I call you a loser, if I call you a lame, if I get other people to look at you like you're weird, these are psychological tactics that can have you lose confidence in yourself. But for those of you who stand in your worth and know that none of those people could ever do that in your face, could ever hold a candle to you because you're actually real and they're fake, and you have receipts for this, this is adding to your value. This is actively frustrating the WLBs who need someone to feel better than because they are insecure, which is now the nature behind their behavior in the first place. All right. You stand on values with which you have strengthened and solidified through the character of your actions. And now this is you getting ready to manifest the value of it. So let other people who are triggered by your authenticity expose themselves by the words and mannerisms they're using. They are like children who don't even realize how foolish what they're saying is. You don't have to murk someone who is digging their own grave. Don't lower yourself to their level. Just focus on what you're doing, because there's nothing they're doing in that insecure space that could ever reach or hold a candle to you. Whether they're manipulating public perception to do that, it's just a reflection of someone trying to hurt other people, and we know their fate, especially if you're a demon slayer and you already know how Muzan got killed. Anyway, other than that, what I really want to establish through this is not only how Venus through Taurus is going to polish and beautify this next level and layer and yearly update. Think about a firmware update. You get a software update you get every year. Firmware update is going to be like Saturn. The software update you get every year is going to update how much more beautiful or efficient an app runs. And this is what's going through again. Allow people to feign ignorance or genuinely be confused about what it is you're saying. They're snitching on themselves because information is free out there to research what's being said. But if you have so much hubris, you feel like you're too good to learn something that's outside of your box, you're an idiot. And we will make fun of you like the idiot you are. Ha 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 ha. All you're going to do is get triggered and be mad. Know your place. Sit down and shut the fuck up. All right. With that being said, don't mind my tone. As you could tell, there's a more grounded authenticity, because let's just keep it a buck. We did the work. We did the work to look within ourselves and confront ourselves with what we don't like about ourselves and what needs to change. We did not project this towards other people and make it their problem. And now you are dealing with people who their whole life they have been spiritually bypassing and making excuses, making themselves feel better than other people because of the fragile egos and self-esteem they have. That's why you're seeing this battle between soul, ego, lies, and truth. We already won. We are already won. So let those who have not killed the cringe within them cringe at everything you're doing. That doesn't affect you. And more the manipulative tactics of people who don't have power within themselves fail, the more the demonic influence and the evil they've invited in their heart is going to rise to the surface. And then us as demon slayers will catch a body. I promise you, by the time the year is over, you're going to have at least 5 bodies. And that is what it is. 5 people you have murked just by being yourself, not by killing physically or opening a gun, just by the integrity of your actions. It is what it is. That being said, okay, Venus and Taurus is manifesting an update to the natural quality of how valuable you feel you are. And the most important thing that I want to really speak on is the recent conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. This month throughout May, coming into June, is going to bring in a new 12-year cycle of innovations that will establish precedents in the way we spend money, in the way we make money, in the way we produce content, and in the way that we're actually able to relate to each other. Whether this is through new applications, whether this is through new cultural movements, brace yourself, because the last time we went through a conjunction like this was 2010. So go back to see what was popular 2010, what was coming out 2010, which in Pisces would suggest was the beginning of this whole influencer era. Do you see now there's a disillusionment with influencers? Please understand now that Neptune is at the end of Pisces, that's going to end. All of you people who have championed authenticity, all of you people who've been calling out the fakeness, your era is next up. Pluto in Capricorn, Neptune in Pisces, Uranus in Taurus was this pre-era that proliferated all the ills of the fake, because it's not all bad, but it's what helped to see this. Once Neptune goes into Aries next year, Uranus goes into Gemini 2026, and Pluto is in Aquarius, humanity is awakening. All the stuff you've been fighting towards is going to be what's hot. Like, a lot of you don't even realize you're about to be hot and popular because you are the author. Like, people are so tired of fake shit. They're looking for authentic stuff, as if we weren't here the whole time. But you still had to learn through that to now be in a position to champion this. And it's not as simple as I'm real, I'm authentic, but I'm just letting you know, these are how the trends are going to look. And Saturn is murking all of the inauthentic. That's why everyone's getting exposed the way they're getting exposed. Everything about Neptune and Pisces since 2012 was a dream. I'm going to use influencer lifestyle and culture, a fabricated lifestyle and reality. It was a smokescreen. There is a battle that's been going on for years. And here's what it comes down to. Do you see Neptune right here? In a year from now, they will have crossed the threshold into Aries. And here, let me just keep it a buck with you guys. The whole era of all this disinformation and official media reporting is done. The type of way people are going to get news now is from TikTok, it's from Rumble, it's from real people giving you their own investigative journalism. This has never been able to happen before until recently. Okay, so what's going to happen coming into next year is this is the end of the world as well. It's the great disillusionment. All the people who have been living a complete delusion. And the thing is, there's this echo chamber and noise where everyone's a part of it too. I'm not trying to say we're different from these people. We're going to notice where we have fallen short, and we can change it. It is, and that recall, everything about Pisces is death of the ego. So everyone who has the wherewithal to be like, okay, I was being fake here, I was being inauthentic here, you will call yourself out and you step into authenticity. That's how you know, because people will call themselves out first. All the people who have so much pride and they have to hide all that stuff to put on an image, they're dead. They're already dead. I'm not saying that with anger. I say that with pity. Like, they're done. They're done. I'm not talking about just 1, 2, 3, or 4 people. This is entire social groups of people that they may not even realize how delusional they are. All right. And everyone has an element of delusion in them. So it's not like no one's not going to go through this. But once this goes into Aries, the dust is going to settle. The smoke that has been diluting everyone is going to clear, and you're going to find that there has been a battle going on the whole time. And the majority of people who've been a literal zombie on their phones, because I've been on my phone too, but I know why I'm on my phone. I know that I'm not just using these I'm on my phone to reach out to you guys, and it has paid out. Now, when this goes into Aries, my time on the internet is done, and I have real people who I can go meet. Everything I've done over the past 10 years was just an experiment. It was just a project, a mission. So that, of course, now that we've established this community, we can build it moving forward over the rest of the decade. I never plan to be on here forever. So here's the thing, hence Noah's Ark. Everybody can't go. All right. Shout out to Benny the Butcher. If you haven't heard the album, fire. This PD tour is happening, and I'm in talks with Dolo as well. So, keep that in mind. So, once again, once this dissipates, you're going to find who has been war ready. You watching me, you have not just been taking part of these delusions, you have been preparing for war. You have been peeping what's been happening, whereas certain people have just been caught up in the entertainment. And when the dust settles, people are going to see it's been on. And the people who have been ready, once the smoke dissipates, you're ready. You've already been ready. You haven't just been flailing around here and there, chasing trends, chasing what's hot. All the people who've done that didn't collect their weapons, didn't train, don't know who they are. If you don't know who you are, it's already over. Once Saturn goes into Aries and your individual limits are tested more than ever, and your individual freedoms are tested more than ever, go back to 71. All right. This is going to show who's going to make it or not. All right. So just to keep that in mind, this isn't necessarily based off of what the planets say will happen to your life. This is based on what you, as a conscious being, decide to co-create with the planet sequence. Astrology doesn't influence you. You co-create with reality. Astrology is just the time clock to let you know what cycles can help you do what you're doing, or whether you're conscious. Because if you're not conscious of it, then you're going to do it and call it fate. But if you're conscious of it, it enables you to now have much more awareness of where you're taking your life. All right. Whether you use astrology or not, astrology is just a language. So if you don't understand language, just say you don't speak the language. But that being said, now that we're talking about Venus and Taurus is coming back over everything you've invested in yourself. And this is going to reflect in how much more confident and valuable you are in with yourself. So the first thing that I want to say is Venus has squared Pluto. All right. And the reason why that's very significant is mathematically, we have to look at what that means. We know that the last time Venus was on Pluto was when it had entered Aquarius. So we had the Venus conjunct Pluto in Aquarius in over 248 years. Bars. Really think about that. This is a new era. This is a new precedent. But the reason why I'm mentioning this is the 0-degree conjunction that activated this celestially supernatural awakening of your heart, supernatural Aquarius, awakening Pluto of your heart, Venus, and actions Mars, is now just breaking through the ground. And why is this important? It's not only breaking through the ground 90 degrees, right? You activated the higher knowledge, manifested the belief that adjusted your perception, and then moved forward authentically in that direction. Now we are planted in the firm, fertile ground that this is breaking through the ground. Do you understand right now that as this is making a 90-degree angle, awakening this supernatural quality on top of Uranus and Jupiter, it's breaking through the ground like Jack's Magic Beanstalk. If you have never read the Magic Beanstalk, check it out. It's not so much about that story, but the concept of planting seeds and them growing extremely huge. So I hope I have just broken down to you how this Magic Beanstalk is happening. It's breaking through the ground, and with Jupiter and Uranus, very rapidly over the next 3 to 6 months. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but not a lot of people are talking about astrology like this. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just like this mathematical breakdown like this. Not a lot of, I'm not trying to like gas myself up, But like, really keep mindful of that, because this is no longer, I don't do that. I'm not doing that speculative astrology where it's like, I believe this is what's going to happen when this plan. I'm giving you the math and I'm telling you what's happening. That's why people are telling me I'm accurate as fuck for years. And that's why, you know, there's nothing that I'm saying that I feel like couldn't come from anybody else, because it's the math that I'm translating for you. All right. So with that being said, um, you want to take this very seriously. And given that this square is occurring, you are now establishing the extreme quality of pressure. 90-degree angles represent outside influences. What you love about your individual value versus the extreme pressure of an entire collective with different social mores and groups that may be for, middle, or against you. How are you allowing all of that to influence your wealth in yourself? Some people are going to fold with the pressure and give their value away because they don't really love themselves. Others of you, you don't care if you're getting jumped vibrationally. You're going to stand on your own too. And that's going to be rewarded with so much more wealth. Okay. I appreciate you guys tuning in and you know, being a part of this, sharing the information. So the first thing that I want to speak on is, given that Venus has its correlation with relationships, interpersonal relationships, and love, I want you to be honest with yourself. Are you shortchanging yourself right now? Do you have a crush on people who don't even value you? Honestly, it's cool to have crushes, right? But are you holding your heart out for people who don't even value you? I know I've been guilty of this. I'm not saying this like I haven't done it, but like, are you right now holding out that someone who doesn't even value you will one day like you? I hope you're still not doing that in 2024. Are you holding out on job opportunities or relationships with people who don't even respect you like that, just because you feel like you may never, ever, ever find someone like that person? Please look in the mirror. There is not me, not anybody, there's not a single person who you should value more than yourself. All right. And I mean that in the sense where you don't see everyone else as equal, right? I don't feel like you need to value yourself over other people, but you should not value someone over yourself to the point where you will hold out to them to get breadcrumbed. This is very important. If you allow yourself to get breadcrumbed right now, you are subconsciously cementing and sending a signal to yourself that you are not worth what you want. Venus in Taurus 2024 is the stubborn quality of the bull that wants you to stand strong and firm. And with Uranus, you got to get a little bit crazy here, where it's literally like, look, this is what I'm worth. I'm not compromising for anything. Okay. I know you like me 90%. I'm going full 100. If you have 10% of your attention focused elsewhere, you can keep it. I don't need you. And this is the establishment that's going to divide people who will fold for mere crumbs and people who will hold out so they can get the full course meal they know they deserve. It's vibrational. This is an energy. Once you carry this energy, this is going to attract everything that you ever wanted, because you are communicating that, which is an action. You're communicating to the universe, I'm not compromising. I'm not budging. Okay. Sellouts get sold out. That doesn't mean you can't take a nice deal, but make sure it's in the interest of your integrity that you're not going to compromise. All right. So that's the first thing that I really want you to ask yourself. Are you in relationships right now that don't reflect what you're worth? Some of you might be with certain people who are not giving you what you deserve. I mean, only you can give yourself what you deserve, but they're not honoring what you deserve. And you're staying with them because you feel like you will not find something better that reflect. I'm not telling you to go to the other side of the grass, that the grass is greener on the other side. I'm saying make sure you are not compromising what you are worth to settle. Please promise me you will never, ever in your life settle. Because if you settle during this transit, you will regret it for the rest of your life. I promise you. If you settle for what it is you are worth, and you're settling for less than what it is you're worth, I'm telling you right now, you will regret it for the rest of your life. Before Venus goes into Gemini next month and starts to transit with the Sun and Jupiter trining Pluto, this is what's going to begin to communicate the extreme quality of what you've just integrated. That communication needs to be adjusted through Taurus so we can gain a foundation of the grounding of value we're in before we can now start to creatively communicate. Oh, no, because once Venus is in Gemini, you're talking shit. It's like, I know you're not approaching me, talking to me like that, acting like I'm not worth this. I mean, I'm just using it as an example. And that's going to stem from the source of Taurian natural confidence because you are manifesting real tangible value. What I'm going to start doing this week is actually producing. I literally pulled up the Fruity Loops course. I'm finally going to start learning how to make beats. And this is an investment in my skill that I know is going to pay off for the rest of my life. Think about that. All right. Jupiter and Gemini is going to begin to evolve skill sets and attitudes. So this is a very beautiful period to start something new or to begin producing something, to begin investing in cryptocurrencies and stocks, to begin investing in your craft. There is never a right time to do that. But if there was ever a cycle that you wanted to do that to come into magic beanstalk results, it is right now. Okay. Trust me. So you're going to be guided through this. All right. However, just really keep in mind that much of this value is already prepackaged because we have to remember last year, the North Node was in Taurus. Mercury was retrograde, and we had that Uranus conjunction while Jupiter was in Aries. So as we start in Aries, and this is shifting the focus towards what you do with what you're worth, what you're destined to do with what you're worth, as we now double up and now pass go collect 200, maybe 1,000 million. All right. And yeah, I feel like once I get the basics and the foundations of how to produce, it's a wrap. I'm going to be making masterpieces. Obviously, it's going to take years to really gain experience and learn more about instruments and whatnot. But yeah, at an initial level, I feel like I can have fun with it. And they have Splice now. I'm gonna learn the foundation before I use Splice. I don't want to rely too much on AI. But yeah, once I start producing my own songs, it's gonna take off even more. But yeah, I realized Libra risings are artists, Leo risings are entertainers. I'm a Taurus rising. I want to be the producer that is writing songs for artists, producing songs for artists, executive producing projects. Yeah, I'll perform, but I'm okay being behind the scenes as well. And I've come to really embrace this role right now and produce movies, produce content, really. So yeah, regardless, and yeah, we could definitely always all collab. So yeah, other than that, shout out to King Curtis. That course that I got is actually from Curtis King Productions. Check him out on YouTube. He has amazing streams. He's actually been an independent artist and producer for like over like a decade or two. So yeah. Other than that, guys, I didn't even know he's a Taurus moon, double exaltation, the natural warrior, which is fucking dope. So with that being said, or the natural original, or the producer original, wow. But yeah, um, I really want you to spend this period reflecting on what your value is. And then I want you to multiply that by infinity. Okay. Your value is limitless. And it's one thing to really say that to yourself. The tangibility you're manifesting will force you to accept it. I recently manifested a synchronicity just through drawing random tarot cards that have reinforced beliefs I've had for over a decade. And this is now pronouncing the quality of facets aligning within myself that I know are happening for you supernaturally as well. And as we kick off chapter 2, this is what's going to really set off the rest of the decade by having you exponentially increase your value and worth. Really do expect the cycle of unexpected windfalls of income to really come through like never before. In fact, thank you for reminding me about Skillshare. Skillshare actually does. So I definitely will look into that as well. And now this is so very important. Like Uranus and Taurus, you have to understand Uranus and Taurus entered Taurus 2018. Okay. So what we're seeing with this process of innovation, the whole notion that you can go on a website and actually see a myriad of courses from independent contributors collectively from all over the world. This is a new phenomenon. Like we're going to see this progress. AI, we're going to see progress even more. This is that cycle of innovation. The fact that now you can press a button and produce a song that might have taken someone hours to produce and do everything, that's the curve we're stepping into. This is this next revolution we're stepping into. And this is going to give so much more people a voice. That's why a lot of us were saying moving forward, this Pluto Aqua era, everyone's going to be a celebrity. That's the Neptune, Saturn, Aries, Pluto Aqua, where now it's not just like that one or two people who we look up at. It's an entire community of people sampling and tasting everyone and pushing everyone up because we've exposed and weeded out the evil demons who are wanting to let me keep it a buck. This is angels versus demons. There are evil demonic influences who are pitting people against each other and controlling what people can say. I'm not going to say who they are. Many people already know who they are. And I'm not talking about human beings. Everything that you see on the surface here are puppets being controlled by higher forces, for we fight not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces of wickedness in high places, principalities, rulers. And it's only until you embrace that you realize this is way deeper than race. This is way deeper than religion. This is way deeper than culture itself. This has always and will always be soul. This has always been about soul. This will always be about soul. That's why people who have soul, we up. And people who are too trapped in their ego, they're dead. Saturn and Pisces is killing the ego within me, within you, within everyone. So if you don't have soul and you just have ego, you're dead. But if you have soul and you've been developing that, this is what you're going to step into more so than ever. Not like you ever didn't, but this is where now this Taurus energy is manifesting the tangible nature of the physiology of the soul. Your soul is the invisible image of your body, or let's say your body is the visible image of your soul. If you ever want to know what a soul looks like, look at someone's eyes and body. That is the visible image of the intangible essence of the soul that animates through the spirit your physical body. Soul, spirit, body, right? Mind, body, and spirit. Mind, body, and spirit. Okay. So what's even more significant through this is everything about this Venus and Taurus is taking everything since 2020 and it's giving you a crucial advance. This is you getting paid off for all the work you've done. And the reason why I want to encourage you is because of the smokescreen of Neptune, because of Saturn that's getting ready to organize this. I don't think a lot of you realize that you're sitting on gold mines. I don't think a lot of, like, if some of you realized how valuable you are and the stuff you're creating is and what you're making, you would have no anxiety about whether money comes to you tomorrow. You would have no anxiety about what job am I going to work. Um, that's the whole point of this Venus and Taurus. After this Venus and Taurus 2024, you're going to be walking around your job like, y'all can't even afford me. I can't believe I'm working this job. I'm hooking y'all up. And let me reinforce, there's nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5. All right. But you might demand a raise moving forward. Be honest. Like, once Venus ends in Taurus, you're going to walk around your job like, look, I might just leave this job. Y'all are not paying me enough. I don't need this job. Like, there's a sense of independence and autonomy that Aries, Taurus, and Gemini are activating throughout the rest of the decade. It's going to be a major theme of culture, society, in the world moving forward. And that's what this Saturn and Pisces war is. I don't know if you know, during this apocalypse period, let me show you. Let me show you. Right now, next year, we're going to have the North Node, we're going to have Saturn, and we're going to have Neptune. This is what this battle is being fought over from 71 to 95, from 97 to 2024. A new narrative. Who is going to lead the narrative of the New World Order? Once Saturn goes into Aries with Neptune and we're starting a brand new cycle, when the dust settles, who is going to be the one leading forward? The answer is you, every individual on the planet. But relative to the narratives at head right now, that's what's being fought over. We see this in the form of corporate greed versus individuals who don't want to see their politicians bought up by corrupt officials. We see this in terms of the culture, as far as like industry politics versus authenticity in culture, okay, in art. So this is happening all over the world, all right? And this is where, of course, the dependence you may have had on false aspects of this culture is what's going in the world, is what's going to be replaced with your own independence. Nothing that can't happen for you. You have to sow the seeds and till the ground yourself with the sweat of your brow. All right. And this is beautiful because it's very empowering. You're getting to really see your value in a new way. And that's where the first part of this transit with, of course, the square, the 94-degree angle you are witnessing right now with Venus in Taurus and Pluto is occurring. This is going to have you now naturally produce a supernatural quality of your physical senses, since the sun with your awareness and now Venus is here. Next is going to be Mercury, and then we're going to have Mars take action off on this. So we're going to wrap our minds around it, and then we're going to take action on it in a couple of months when Mars goes through. I wish I had all the words to say. The sequence is so fire. I just want you to be more excited about yourself and what you're getting ready to produce than ever. It's like, imagine if you had to depend on banking institutions to withdraw money versus now you can just withdraw your own currency from your palms and convert that into any currency. How much more of a boss would you feel if now your sense of worth comes exclusively from you, versus having to trade your energy and time for fake fiat currency? Gone from the days that we just used to barter items and services. This is that revolution. It's the first part of that revolution. All right. And that's why I do what I do, because I am here to remind you and spread this gospel that your connection with God and your liberation is not going to come from a religious institution or organization. It's not going to come from a pastor. It's not going to come from any intellectualization. It is only going to come from within you, where the kingdom of heaven resides. And so until you actually dive within and really nurture and cultivate, which is a lifelong process, you are only going to be swept away by the currents of what is hot now in society, what is buzzing later, instead of being firmly rooted in who and what you are. Everything that the North Node in Aries through your actions will continue to unlock. Allow other people, while you stand in your authenticity, to feel triggered by you. They're only doing so because they're weak. And that's not even a bad thing. It's only a bad thing to the extent that they allow it to have them kill their own selves, because messing with you is most definitely suicide. I put that on everything. All right. As Venus moves forward, this is now going to not only finish through the first decan of Venus, which establishes this natural value, but we will have the new moon coming into the middle of next week. That's what's going to conclude this reevaluation. And then this is where you're officially going to plant seeds. Okay. With that being said, Taurus has 3 decans: Venus, Mercury, and Saturn. Let's look at Taurus like the producer and the production factory. The first decan of Venus is you actually producing the product. And then what happens in a production facility? When you buy any item, when you buy any product, there are certain stages it has to go through. You don't just buy the product. There's usually labels on it. There's usually branding on it. And then if you're selling a product, that product is being sold within a market, and that market is being regulated in an economy. So let me give you a little bit of zodiac science. Taurus is fixed earth, like the money you spend, like the bank institution you put your money in. Virgo is mutable earth, buying and selling, like the market. That's why Virgos are the best hagglers ever. I didn't even know. It was my Virgo moon dad that taught me in Nigeria how to haggle, because they'll hear my American accent, jump the price up. And I didn't know you could be like, no, I'm paying this. No, I'm paying this. My dad is an OG. He'll just walk away and then he'll be like, wait, come back, come back. And then he'll get his price. Aries, Sun, Virgo, Moon. So Virgo is the market. It's where the buyer and the seller have to mutably come to a Libra agreement, right? So that money can be exchanged. Virgo is now the market. That's why Virgo is a social zodiac sign, because where does transactions take place? Socially. This is just science, baby. This is how the zodiac signs are just archetypes. They're not demons. They're not mythical, magical things. They are archetypes based off of what we experience, axioms we experience in life. And so if Taurus is the product and Virgo is the market, well, we need to regulate that market. Saturn, Capricorn, that's the economy. That is the economic system of regulation of the market. All right. So basically, we have this dynamic of the product and the quality of the product innovating, evolving, being polished. All right. You ever look at a brand and then now that brand has a makeover? It doesn't look the way it did 2 years ago. That's what's happening right now. That's what's happening right now with Venus. All right. Venus is going back into Taurus, taking the original production line and it's updating it relative to what new wealth and technology we have. So the first decade of Taurus is Venus, right? The production of the actual material. And then the next decade is Mercury. This is where we take the product and we attach the brand on it. We put the labels on it. These are the information and facts on it. We start to perfect it, right? And then, of course, the third decade is Saturn. This is where we now put it through regulation and testing so that it could be approved. And now we put it in the market. This is where we have Venus, Mercury, the actual analysis of what we produced. and then Saturn, the actual integrity and power of what we're going to do with that production. The most important thing I want to highlight to you relative to this value breaking through the ground is that many people are amateurs. A lot of people have a very hard ability to mask the evil in their hearts. People like us, we don't have anything to hide. Like, let me be 100% on. I am not afraid of anybody in the world exposing me. I'm not afraid of, and like if someone says they're gonna expose me, I'm gonna fucking laugh. What are you gonna expose about me? I'm a loser on the internet who likes to scroll on social media. Like, I have nothing to hide. I don't groom underage children. I've never raped anybody. I've never scammed in over 10 years a single person in my life in a field where that stuff happens every day. Okay. I've never stolen from people. I've never killed anybody. I've never really disrespected. Are you going to expose? You can't expose that I'm a liar. You can't expose that I'm a fraud. So what, you're going to expose that I'm lame? To who? And that brings you, that integrity can bring one a sense of wealth and confidence. I know that outside of people twisting narratives to make people believe something, they can't fuck with the truth. Okay. And just like I've manifested this, you've manifested this as well. But please understand, there are many people with skeletons in their closet. And there are a lot of people who cannot say that like you can say that. So let me be honest with you. Do you think they don't feel a certain way about that? Do you think that they don't steam within feeling insecure about the fact that you can sleep like a baby because you don't have to, because there's no rest for the wicked, and these people's pasts are catching up to them. We see y'all. We laughing at y'all. We sipping that tea too. Okay? The people who had the most to say while they were not walking in integrity are the people who have been going down every day. I can say that confidently. Keep the narrative games to yourself, because once we pull out that sword of truth, it's one hit kill. All that shit means nothing to integrity. Keep all that poisonous, toxic, cultural shit. Y'all done. And it's beautiful to see. So just maintain that integrity. I don't care how corny people think I am. I don't care how much of a lame people think I am. You can't say I'm a liar. You can't say I'm a scammer. You can't say I'm a fraud. And you wish you had that level of integrity. Most of you people who believe that, and I'm not talking about you, but most people who believe that are usually bought, usually have vested interests or ulterior motives, and they don't want smoke. And that's a fact. Because we don't have to get violent to get it dirty. We're connected with celestial force angels. We just have to say the word, to the point that I can say I'm connected with angels, and certain people will think that's fantasy and we lying. Keep playing if you want to. And see how now there's a sense of confidence, grounded confidence. I just told you real stuff about myself. I don't have to make anything up. And that feels amazing. And just like I feel this, you feel this as well, because you have done the work, and because you are willing to call yourself out if you ever be on bullshit. The best thing that could ever happen is someone talks to me and exposes some stuff I really need to work on in myself. I can only respond with honor. You know what? Thank you. I have to accept that about myself. And that's really what it is moving forward. Who can accept versus who is in denial? Because the people in denial, they going out sad all year, all rest of the decade. It's just facts. And you owe it to yourself to come into the biggest payday of your career, especially for those of you who've been putting in the work. You're coming into lifelong milestones that will apply for the rest of your life. So let the evil in people's hearts project. They're not going to say anything more about high school taunts and names, because that's the level that they're at intellectually, and that's all they can do, punching their fist in the air. That's it. That's it. All they can do is just mock the way you say things and make fun of the way you say, because if anything else would require real intellect, and they don't really have that, and they don't have substance, so they can't really do anything deeper. And so just examine. Don't feel like you have to actually, pick your battles wisely, or you'll be swimming in the mud with pigs. All right. And make sure not to cast your pearls among swine. Because if you don't think there is that collective, unconscious, manipulative, psychological tactic to undermine your value because they can't hold a candle to you, it's only your fault if you fall for that. Nobody is a victim here. And so you can't even blame the fact that many of you are getting jumped vibrationally by collective unconscious frequencies. That's only making you stronger. And it's only happening because you're a threat, because you're not a dick rider, because you don't just glaze over the popular narrative at the time to be accepted. All right. It is what it is. And this is where, once again, I'm going to repeat, if you're not about that life, stay home, because the level of these conversations, the level of these conflicts are exponentially over the rest of this year and decade going to be that much more intense. We're coming back into a civil war period. The last time we had civil war in this country, Neptune, which is about to enter Aries, was in Aries, and Uranus, that's in Taurus, was in Gemini. All right. So it's inevitable. We're seeing a repeat of a cycle updated with the next generation, the hope of the future that is going to create a brand new world. And y'all need to know, I have devoted my entire life to serving you all towards that. I brought a sword. I didn't come here to fuck around and be friendly and buddy. I came to rock out with the gang, the soul group, because we all have some very important things to do while people are fucking around and playing with this fake depression, acting like they're diagnosing themselves with this, and there are real people dying out here. And so don't feel like you're never doing enough. Let other people from the outside looking in feel like you're not doing enough because they feel it has to look a certain way. The real work is rooted within. What this Taurus season is going to prove is who is a fake tree that has no roots that could be uprooted, and who has roots deep that cannot be shaken. That's it. That Gemini season is going to be a strong breeze. And it's going to be people with no roots that are going to be like, versus those of you with roots that are just like, my bad. Okay. So with that being said, y'all, please don't think there's anything you have to do. It's already done. You're coming into the results of everything you're worth. And now, how is it that you polish this through with Venus? This new moon is going to plant these seeds while Mercury, the second decan, is being activated. And as now Venus goes through the second decan, the next major transit we will have is, you guessed it, the opening sextile between Venus and Saturn. All right. Venus and Saturn are going to appropriately anchor the integrity of your beliefs relative to now everything you could at a much stronger level manifest tangibly. And so, especially since the beginning of this year and in previous years, everything that was really more metaphysical and conceptual to you, this 60-degree angle is opening the doorway into it being very concrete. All right. Another way to look at this is like you've produced it and now Venus is polishing it. It's getting all the crinks out. You're smoothing it. You're putting the cover around it. You're making this beautiful. We've done this many times before. All right. So the whole tone of this transit talk is to really greatly honor your natural, innate value, because you are innately and naturally valuable. And we love that Venus finish over here. Let me tell you. All right. I have also provided tools. So I'm telling you right now to value yourself, and your manifestation ability is going to skyrocket. But for those of you who would like practical tools that if you use as soon as today will give you instant results, okay, simply click on the description box below. You see this no action needed? Watch that. You see this ultimate guide to the law of assumption? watch that. Even if you've watched it before, recap yourself on it. I like to watch it multiple times just to remind myself of what's up. You, in applying the details of this video, will see instant results immediately, especially now that Venus, Uranus, the Sun, and Jupiter are together. Once we reach that 14th of May, middle of May period, and the Sun conjuncts Uranus, this is a once in a year cycle that, of course, is going to establish innovative precedents that with Jupiter will, over the next decade, evolve everything to the next level. But now we are having this sextile Neptune and Saturn, which brings an entire collective unconscious understanding of how it ties into the whole world and everything that we all believe, relative to how you can individually draw from that and create classics, masterpieces, and just quality. Fixed signs are quality and energy. Mutable signs are perspective and magic. All right. So a major facet of this is racism, sexism, and of course, classism, prejudice. What do all four of those things have in common? The root core of all of that is hatred. Okay. So I think maybe if there are some of you who are naive, and then there's some of you who think it's in your head. If you're naive, press number 1. And if you think it's in your head, press number 2. And I'm going to explain. If you're naive, you feel like there could be an element of just pure unconscious hatred towards you that could be prejudicial or racial, but you don't want to believe it. If you think it's just in your head, you know it's up, but you think you're just being paranoid. You're very keenly aware that you're being projected on for layers more than just your authenticity, but because of your race, culture. It doesn't matter what race you are too, but you feel like there's that prejudice, but you feel like, nah, I'm just being paranoid. If you commented number 2, it's not just in your head. And it could be kind of both for you. It is not just in your head, but you have to understand that what you're feeling is a collective unconscious influence. So it's not as simple as just a group of people or just one person. Like many people may not factor in that the energy of everything that has occurred 3 centuries ago, 2 centuries ago, 5 decades ago still exists. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, so it doesn't go anywhere. It's just this illusion of psychological time with holidays and calendars that can make you think that in any way time is progressing forward when we're in this eternal present moment. So, many of you might literally even be on the burial grounds of people who were slaughtered unfairly and might not realize that that has a subtle effect on the depression you're feeling. All of these cycles are unearthing themselves. And that's why I'm saying all of this is getting ready to intensify and escalate very crucially. And if you're not about it, stay inside. I promise you, please. That's okay. Just stay inside. Okay, because it's going there and it will not stop going there. All right. So basically, all right, and appreciate your reality within. Thank you. Can this be cleared? Nicole, you asked a good question. It is currently clearing. So at a collective unconscious level, if we think through the time passage of lineages of generations upon generations, this return of the cycle is through all the events that occurred, unearthing and clearing all this energy. And that's why it is showing in the form of conflicts, climaxing, cultures coming head to head, ideologies coming head to head. One huge clash of which will be religion, science, and spirituality. All versus conscious thought. Okay. And they don't have to be pitted against each other, but all of that coming up as well. The dictates of how religion and religious influences and beliefs have shaken and influenced so many people right now is dead. Let me tell you, there's little to no one in Pluto Sagittarius who cares about that. There's no one born after 1995 that cares about any of that. That's going to push forward any of that. That's going to adopt any of that. Yeah, they're going to be conditioned as a child, but all of them have supernatural vision and claircognizance. So they're tapped in the universe. Mind you, none of these children are in their 30s or 40s yet, where they will be fully disillusioned from all this bullshit. So like it dies with us, guys. And we're getting ready to move forward on such a revolutionary tip worldwide that's going to really change the dynamic of how we quite literally do everything we've ever done. All right. So I wanted to highlight that because the week of the 14th is going to be revolutionary beyond belief and really climax a whole lot of what's happening. And then boom, that's where we come into the Venusian conjunctions with Uranus and Jupiter. And this is what in the third decan of Saturn is going to bring at a peak quality this magic beanstalk growing very huge. As it will lightly sextile Neptune, it's tapping you into the peak of supernatural intuition and imagination ability as the portal through which now you have all the tools with Venus, Uranus, Jupiter, and the Sun to produce a brand new cycle and seed of innovation. And all I have to say regarding that is, what are you working on? What about yourself are you adding value to? What do you truly value? What do you really love? For those of you who like a very patient and grounded agriculturist tends to their field, sows those seeds, waters those seeds. By the time we come to the end of here, where we're officially activating this before the full moon in Sagittarius, which will immediately begin to show you the effect of what you've planted, all right, this is going to skyrocket the bejesus out of your value. It's also going to bring into play the rate. If we take stocks, if we take crypto, every so often we see a fall, rise, and dip of an average. A cryptocurrency coin for example, could at certain periods average at 10,000 and then and just fluctuate up and down and then the average fluctuates higher or it goes lower. My prediction is that with the expansion of Jupiter, this is going to set a precedent to skyrocket over time and immediately the averages of certain stocks and crypto, even if that looks like a huge crash in crypto. So if there's a huge crash in the crypto market, I'm going to buy every crypto that I can buy. What the crypto crash is going to look like is a wholesale discount. Okay, I'm just letting you know that right now. Every max that you've seen the crypto go to, it's going to rise there again and it's going to surpass it. Is it going to happen instantly? No. But I think the best thing that can happen is that crypto crashes because it's going to give everyone a wholesale discount to get the coins that they couldn't get while they're high because that bitch is going to raise again. Okay, it is what it is. Of course, do your research on what stocks and cryptos work. But if this doesn't rise, it will crash. And I'm using crypto and stocks as an analogy for anything you invest in: relationships, situations, career paths. All right. So really keep that in mind. This conjunction right here with the sextile of Saturn of stability, I believe, if not necessarily controlled, is going to put stuff to the move. And if anything, I'm not a crypto expert, but I'm going to buy a fuck ton of XRP because if there was ever a period where XRP is going to go to the moon, I already have like 1,000 of them bitches, but I'm about to buy like more. I'm sorry, I had to say that. But I'm about to buy more. Okay, so it is what it is. I'm not a crypto specialist or expert. I took like $6,000 from the crypto I was able to build, and I put it in a retirement account, an IRA. So that's another example of how I'm looking at a long-term investment. Remember, this is a 12-year cycle too. Jupiter is not going to come back around until 12 years. So this is the perfect period to make long-term investments. I'm going to start producing beats. That's a long-term investment that's going to see me out for a while. I'm going to start producing more content in my channel, like all sorts of stuff. I don't even have to do it now. This just marks the cycle that starts. So I can start doing all this 6 months from now, but this just represents that cycle. Banking, especially. I'm so glad you asked about banking. Everything about Taurus is banking. If you think about solid resources, security, all right, securities. Okay. So banking is interesting because the entrance of Pluto into Aquarius is what gave us a sneak peek into the FDIC insurance of banks collapsing. And if you have over 250,000 in most banks, you've lost your money. I'm not saying that that's going to be the case if you do, but I think that's going to really be the issue with banking. It's going to segue away from dependence on banks. And then the new thing is you're your own bank. I truly believe that what we're stepping into is now you are your own bank. Even if you have to start with pennies, where you dash your currency is your own self. In fact, I can see the whole notion of people not even putting their money in banks anymore. And more people just having a safe, and more people just holding their valuables by themselves, buying currency backed by gold and creating their own currencies, whether crypto or not. Okay. So I'm not saying every bank ever will collapse and the economy will collapse, just like we had the Great Depression the last time Uranus was in Taurus. We had the Great Depression the last time Uranus was. I'm not saying that that's going to happen at all, but I will say that when Pluto went into Aquarius, we started to see sneak peeks of banks starting to collapse. Is it really that realistic? Even though we've had, in you know, the in the U.S. Certain things closing down. I forgot to say that in the government shutdowns, that just looks like a things being swept under the rug. That I feel like once Pluto starts to square Saturn in Taurus, right? That's what's really, I think that's what's really going to bring it there. But I don't want to make too much predictions. The most important thing I think to be very excited about, especially as we close out this Venus transit, is that this is what's going to sow the seeds and foundation for some of the highest peak magic and immediate results that we will begin to continue to see as soon as it goes into Gemini. And look, we're going to literally have Venus conjunct Jupiter on Neptune. That's all I got to say. I could end this video right here. That is the climax, the 23rd of May. And that's what's going to make for, I think, one of the best Gemini seasons we've ever had in a long time. This Gemini season, I think, might be reminiscent of 2020 when all the shit started to break out with George Floyd. And it is an election year. So what's on your bingo card? On my bingo card, I think a cop is going to kill another black person. We're probably going to have school shootings. And so they could do the gun control thing. And none of this is a fucking joke, because this is real life shit. I'm dead ass serious. I think we're going to have certain reveals. We're going to have probably a lockdown. If by now you don't realize there is a correlation between 2016, 2020, 2012, certain shit happening within elections, you're asleep. I'm sorry, you're naive. You still trust the government. I'm sorry. We're not like this is 20. We're not holding our tongue anymore. We have pattern and analysis now. So if you don't know something's going down this year, this summer, I don't know what to tell you. I have no idea. I really don't know what to tell you. Like you played yourself. You played yourself. So it is what it is. I got my bingo card. I hope you have your bingo card. I'm not saying that any of that has to happen. And I'm not saying that you're not woke enough if you don't get it. I'm just saying if you are still naive and you trust your government, go back in history. Study the monarchy in the 1700s. Study the Protestantism movement beforehand. If you are not aware that we're back in these periods, I'm sorry. It is when you're asleep. You are asleep and you are in for the rudest awakening ever in your life. This is the end of the world as you know it. So what you have are people romanticizing the past. Oh, why aren't things like the way they used to be? And they're still trying to force old traditions in a dying culture. Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to work. If you cannot adapt, you're done. That's it. Everyone has to. If you cannot, I'm not saying that you have to forsake your morals and to just do what the new people are doing. If you cannot adapt, you're done. That's it. If you're stubborn, thinking I'm not going to do all that, you're done. You will get left behind, packed up. That's it. You're not even going to know what hit you. The point here is to adapt, but to establish your authenticity and your integrity so that adaptation doesn't have you compromise that. And of course, by the time we have this peak transit here, mind you, this will not happen until another year. Venus will not hit Jupiter. So it's said to something to be said that Venus is going to conjunct Jupiter right before it goes into Gemini, next trine to Neptune. Huge. So everything we're doing from now until the 23rd is a gradual incremental increase in the quality of your own production ability and what you're producing. Okay. All right. Contemplate, and this is why I can sit with confidence. Contemplate and that's the unique, innovative nature of Uranus. All right. Astrology is going to go mainstream. And I don't know how I feel about that. Everything that's gone mainstream has eventually just been taken over. Once astrology goes mainstream, you're going to hear like people being like, so Mars is squaring Venus, and that means you should support Ukraine. Like once it gets there, it's just dead. Like it's not going to be fun. Right now, I like that it's still taboo. We have something here. It's like a secret language we speak. Majority of the world thinks it's pseudoscience, which is brain dead and fucking stupid. And we literally have something that we can kind of be like, yeah, if you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? It's like what we have is still kind of sacred. It's like people don't even know we're sitting on gold mines. Soon this will go mainstream. It is what it is. And, that's not necessarily the worst thing, but it is definitely something that's going to change the nature of the value of this. That's why I can sit very confidently. I'm debunking bright scientific minds like Neil Ticey deGrasse, Bill Nye, religious experts, people who are supposed to be on a higher level than me intellectually, and yet I can just point out the unsound nature of their logic. And that is the Uranus innovative quality of what we are producing. And when I say I can debunk it, I can be live in front of them without any fans or an echo chamber and walk out winning the argument easy. Schooling, because it won't even be an argument. Schooling whoever needs to be schooled, because that's the truth. All right. Contemplate the fact that there are people looking at me right now thinking that I'm just some star sign merchant and some fraud because I talk about the stars and the planets. And so I'm giving you the whole notion of how ignorance can cause certain people to believe that the language I'm speaking isn't even intelligible when it is the sacred language of the gods themselves. The Mazzaroth, the very alphabet that you speak, comes from the Mazzaroth. The Bible that was written was based off the Mazzaroth. Hence the three magi, magicians, who read the stars to find the Son of God and give him gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Should I keep preaching? Anyway, the reason why this is very deep is fuck all the bullshit that, has been clouded to everybody. You are unpacking this uniqueness yourself right here, right now. And what you define and decide to do with it is what's going to mark your character. Okay. So that radical sense of confidence moving forward with innovative genius is not that different, that you're doing, by the way, is not that different from a Nikola Tesla who was ridiculed for introducing alternating current to the world. Think about Nikola Tesla back in his time versus now, where we look at him like a genius. Okay. That's the level of fortitude you're moving forward with. Not to say that you won't get recognized, but you cannot stop that quality of innovation to wait for lesser beings. For inferior minds. For ignorant muggles who don't understand anything that you're saying, not because they aren't intelligent enough, but because pride and denial deny them from literally connecting as a soul to a soul and really talking. Pride, prejudice, denial, and delusion is what's going to separate those who will dig their own graves versus those who accept themselves and others and listen to understand, not to respond. And who's an NPC and who's not. Cognitive dissonance is out here. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I enjoyed this transit talk. I think I really spoke about everything that needs to be spoken about. Mars is going to be in the middle of Aries. Mercury is going to be in Taurus, wrapping your mind productively around what you're worth. And we had the retrograde here before. So now it's not going to happen in Taurus. And we're all going to crush it. I want you to spend your time really, really examining before the new moon, what are you committed to investing in and producing? Everything that you initiate that you will produce, you will initially begin to integrate and present socially from August, and then you will fully harvest from November. The November Scorpio season harvest is a transformation of your value based on the other people's resources versus your own resources, the barter sign. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't want to make this too long so I could keep this succinct, but yeah, work on yourself. Please understand that you are an infinity year. Take whatever you feel you're worth, multiply it by infinity. And if people don't feel like you're crazy for standing on the fact that you have a limitless net worth, you're not doing it right. If you don't approach romantic relationships like your partner deserves 100% of your focus and commitment and vice versa, you're with the wrong person. Okay? I'm going to talk about romance because Venusian tendencies have to do with that, and it's central in Taurus. What is your value? Are you wasting time with people who don't even take you that serious? Look at me. Look at me. I want you to really look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself a question and be honest with yourself, because a lot more of you are more open-minded, and that's okay. I'm stubborn. I am not that. I'm open-minded to a degree. I'm not that open-minded after a certain degree. Are you an option? Really be honest with yourself. Are you an option? Are you just an option that somebody has to cycle and toggle through and pick from? Because some of y'all are moving around like you're just an option, like you're just a choice. Or are you the prize? Are you DJ Academics? I'm the prize. I'm the prize. We make fun of him for that, but he's Sun and Taurus. Like that's the, maybe not the maybe a Cancer moon emotional expression, but are you the prize or are you an option? Let me tell you the difference. The prize is who everyone competes to win. The option is who one person toggles through. Ask yourself right now, are you an option or are you the prize? Because if you are accepting breadcrumbing and if you are letting yourself be chosen, you are playing yourself. If you refuse to settle and you have acknowledged yourself that you are, and there's nothing wrong with a partner being like you and your partner are both the prize. You both win each other. So this whole notion that, oh, I win this, like that's only said between selfish people who don't understand shit about shit. It's mutual. It's both sides. You have to look at equal. No one is above or lower than the other. The successful relationship are between two equals. In that equal partnership, one person can take the head and the other person can take the support. One person can take the lead and the other person can support, but they do it as equals. That is the equation of a successful relationship. The moment I start to look at myself as above someone, I feel like I have privileges above that person. That's not love. That's not balance. It is what it is. So ask yourself, if you are not willing to settle and you know you are the prize, You're not going to waste your time on any opportunities treating you as an option. You're going to be able to say no to certain opportunities because you will hold strong for what you're worth. And I'm telling you, that's what you're going to manifest. It's as simple as that. Okay. Anyway, the last thing that I want to say, now that we've kind of got the math out of the way and the perspective and the attitude and the concepts and the themes, now that we've got the sense of recognizing that, you know, you are worthy and you're valuable, the last thing I want to say is this. This is the period where all of your supernatural abilities and powers manifest tangibly in your body. So you have been awakening this over the course of years, but this awakening was at a more auto-nervous level, where at the core of your being and bones, this was shifting your belief in yourself, uncovering shadow issues, trauma that you've needed to release. Now this Taurus signature is manifesting the quality of the electricity and the nature of this tangibly. And once Mercury goes into Taurus, your brain is going to be processing like, oh shit. But for now, this is what's coming physical. So over the month of May, you are going to experience at a much more exponential quality the nature of how much stronger your energy is, how much less food you need to eat, how much less sleep you need. There's latent energy that's going to release itself, as some of you may literally be short circuiting. And once all this goes into Gemini, you're going to produce the base experience of what that begins to look like and what it is. So with this radical pressure of Pluto, the first thing that I want to say is you cannot serve two masters. And if you are lukewarm, God will spit you out. Some of you people want to be spiritual with your spiritual buddies and talk all that spiritual stuff. Then you want to get with the muggles and be accepted by them and dumb yourself down and say, oh, okay, yeah, maybe this magic. You cannot serve two masters. The quality, and yes, I don't care if muggle sounds derogatory. I'm using it because it's accurate. The inability to perceive magic beyond the physical. You're a muggle. I don't care. So with that being said, the quality of how much you step into this is going to, with Uranus, challenge heavily controversial techniques and topics. That's why it's easy for me. I've manifested stuff out of thin air within a day. We all have. All right. I fucking channel the stars. So if someone's going to act like I'm delusional, I have receipts. I've predicted World Cup outcomes. I've predicted terrorist attacks in Paris a day before, riots in the World Cup, the death of Takeoff, a new artist, Mobad, like all of that within days. All the stuff that they said was impossible to do, I've been done it. You've been done it. So it's very easy for me to be like, ha, stupid muggle, shut up. That's it. Sit down. With receipts, I don't have to say that. Just receipts. Oh, what's this? Okay, what's this? Okay, what's this? Okay, look at my testimony. Like, it's easy. All right. Some of you might be pressured to feel delusional, okay, as well as, you know, crazy, because you're an eagle flying in front of pigeons. Okay. No. It's a caterpillar not understanding how a butterfly thinks, right? Whatever that saying is. So don't let the process of innovation deter you based off of what other people think from the outside looking in. This is going to require you to adapt to the innovations of old traditions that are obsolete. This is one of those rare periods where a lot of old traditions are being made obsolete. And a lot of people identify their entire character to tradition. In fact, Capricorn is tradition. That's why it squares Aries of your identity. Cancer is your home, and then Libra is your relationships. That's just astrology science. So if you think your relationships with others is a reflection of who you are, And your traditions are a reflection of your family's core values. That's why the angular houses are all tied to your identity. All right, Pluto's out of Capricorn. So think about how many people's cultures, families, and identities are tied directly to the traditions they subscribe to, which they have mistaken to believe that that's who they are, because you're not a nationality, you are not a culture, you are not a ethnicity. You have those things. You are a soul first and foremost. When you die, you're not going to take all of that with you. These are just qualities of what you have, but that's not what you are. Humanity is awakening to the fact that you got nerfed and you were told you are everything you have instead of what you are. You were robbed of who you are. You were told that that doesn't exist. You were lied to. Crime against humanity. So as you are awakening to the power and quality of who you are as a soul, having a physical experience, this is going to now unveil extra layers of how you can innovate your own self-expression. And this is what's going to naturally ground the quality of instant manifestation. Imagine if within 5 minutes, what you decide you have shows up, whether through a sequence of events or you materialize it. That's only going to happen if you know your worth and if you command the universe to do what it do with you. All right, y'all. That's all I'm going to say for now. I'm going to step into the live readings. Click the description box below if you would like a live reading. If you, of course, would like a Venus in Taurus snapshot transit report, I do have 12 spots available left. Please take advantage while you can. Okie dokie. And I got you. You know I got you. Okay. I want to once again thank you all for your unfailing support. You guys are fucking awesome. Let me just remind you, the only reason why I have understood, yes, I definitely will do a Jupiter Gemini reading, and I might even do a special video about that in Saturn Pisces. But yeah, oh yeah, and a reading, I got you. I'll definitely make a report for that. I got you, Nikki D. Thank you for. I probably would have forgot to do that. So yeah, the only reason why I know I have value doing what I do is 100% because of you all. I will always say this again. When I started doing what I was doing, there was no one in my physical environment who saw the value in anything that I was doing. I knew off rip that what I was doing was important and nobody could tell me, but I didn't know how valuable it was to people because people looked at me like I was crazy. People looked at me like this is trash, like you're wasting your time, like this is insubstantial. And it was because of the work I did and because of the real change in your lives that this made, the testimonials you guys told me, the real sincere reflections of how this actually helps you, that I've been able to come into a real understanding of why this work is important. And I need you to understand that that is worth more than any amount of money you can pay me. And that is the gift you guys gave me. So I need you to understand I am devoted to this from now. Like I want to spend the rest of my life devoting on just giving back and serving. You guys taught me what is truly valuable, and I will never forget that. Okay, I just wanted to remind that again. I am that grateful for show. And yeah. All right. So I'm gonna step into the live readings. Okay. The last thing I'm going to say is there are a lot of evil people out in this world. And for so long, narrative discourse has allowed them to sweep under the rug how they don't even think they're evil or bad. Being bad isn't just killing babies. Being evil isn't just killing babies. When you're against truth, you're against God. And there's so many facets of culture that influence you to do that. And that's going to separate the wheats and the tares. As you solidify on your value, thank you, Russell, you are going to be very clear on the quality of who people truly are within. Okay. And as this makes you more of a target because you are not compromising your integrity, this is only going to make you so much stronger. So just weather the storm. And when I say that you're going to see how much more evil people are, you're going to see that. You're going to see based off of the integrity of their actions, based off of you made the decision to do the right thing. They didn't. It's going to be very clear. It's going to confirm your suspicions. And in some cases, it's going to surprise you. All right. For we fight not against flesh and blood. They're not your enemy. They are their own enemy. Remember that. Anyone hurting you, they are not your enemy. They are their own enemy. And you can think that I'm being like philosophical by saying I'm being literal. Hence, certain people are in for a rude awakening when they realize they never held a candle to you and the integrity that you've established. All right. Colby, I wish you were joking. I want to laugh at you, but you've been more prophetic than I'd like to admit. So it is what it is. That being said, let's officially step into the live readings. And we're going to start with Lady Nina. Okay. Rising Taurus. I know that you are the natural angel, the legendary signature as a pure queen. So we need to talk about your moon in Taurus because one, the moon in Taurus is expanding and innovating your soul. All you moon Tauruses, you're going through the most like dope soul evolution ever. And the science behind that is Jupiter is expanding and evolving the natural quality of energy you can receive, be receptive to, and harness. It's like strengthening your ability to read body language and sense energy. Uranus is innovating how supernaturally you can draw from this energy. And as a Scorpio rising, your understanding is harvesting relative to what you feel around other people, towards other people, the natural quality of the space you hold with other people. And I love that you're Scorpio rising because 2018 was when you activated this first house transit over 6 years to integrate through Taurus and break through Taurus. Okay. And yeah, if you guys have those placements, it's definitely going to go through. And I love that you said nervous system upgrades. This is going to be naturally felt. The nervous system is Gemini. So this is where, or Gemini rules the nervous system. All right. So with that being said, as this now evolves through Gemini, the natural quality of your soul that you've sponsored is going to now expand your awareness of how much more you can take everything since 2019 you've been developing in your bag, especially given what you do, which is so important, Nina. And this is going to be you now being able to deal with other people and be like, hey, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And now you're bartering and you're transforming people's lives. So this Venus transit can also open up opportunities for romance for you, because of the 7th house quality that will attract the value that you stand on and of course won't compromise on. So that's also really dope as well. But yeah, that 7th house transit is going to be really, 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 really crucial. And I think you want to tap into how you feel about the people who you're with and who you feel is going to add that value and who you're adding value to their life as well, especially with that 29-degree conjunction as well, because that's just going to add so much more quality to the strength of your soul. And now that Pluto is in your 4th, what comfort zones you can break through as a result into. Okay. And your moon is directly square Pluto. So I know you're feeling that. That's, oh my God, that's wild. That's intense. That's intense. All right. So next we have Queen Calypso. Sag rising. Oh my goddess. The audacity. All right. Look. Listen. All you Capricorns born in the 90s, I'm still doing that documentary. Like, yo, Queen Calypso, you're one of the first people I'm hitting up for this documentary, because the whole thing about this Capricorn alien construct, like those of you with Capricorn sun on Neptune or Uranus in Capricorn, do you guys know yet that you're supernatural alien gods? Like, do you know that like the whole facet with that, people born in the late 80s and 90s with this, they can manipulate matter with their body, with their minds. I've seen certain people win the lottery multiple times. They can control the weather. And then if you're an alien freak born after the year 2000, don't talk to me. You guys can all do that. The Uranus and Neptune's and Aquarius, don't think I don't know. I've seen it. It's cool. But like, yeah, Queen Calypso, we need to talk about this, because now this takes 30 to 40 years to fully awaken, and you're in your 30s now. So in fact, you turned 30 last year. So that's why I really want to talk about this, because 18 degrees Uranus, Sun, and Neptune in Capricorn in the second house. What the fuck? Oh, by the way, I'm part of your past life, South Node. And all of you guys with South Node in Gemini, you come from the realm of angels. So that's why Geminis like us, we're soulmates. Like Metro Boomin. Do you think it's a coincidence? Metro Boomin, South Node Gemini, Future Gemini Moon, and Kendrick Lamar Gemini Sun. That was the angel connection. Like, this is really angels versus demons for real. But something to keep in mind, because you were chosen by destiny. North Node Sag rising. And you know what I'm saying? Thank you, Dawn. And of course, that second house Capricorn means you have a supernatural God level power of manifestation. Forest Fairy Tarot is a great example of second house Capricorn. The power of manifestation is the most powerful for y'all, because you are ascended beings. Sag rising is the fire princess. Okay, so yeah, it is a serious trio, Sincerely Calypso, and we know that you are rocking the mitochondrial Eve gene. So you are goddess body, 100,000%. I'm not trying to flatter you. Like, this is facts, and this is important, because all this Taurian energy is going to integrate how it is you manifest this goddess level power through the awareness of the supernatural, imagination and causal realm, and now manifest creatively a lifestyle and routine you'll be polishing with Venus that supports your ability to snap your fingers at this point and manifest. Because I'm not going to front, like, this is powerful. This most powerful second house is Cap. The strongest second house is Aqua second house, and the most magical is Pisces second house. So you have the elite edge. And what's cool is your moon is in Cancer, so you were born on the full moon. You're the holy director. Okay, Mars on your moon. You're a straight goddess. You have all these alien constructs. How do you have the god of war exactly on your moon, and then you have Uranus and Neptune exactly on your sun? Y'all need to stop playing around. Like, I feel, do you know you're an alien? Are you awakening enough to it? Like, this is crazy. I'm sorry. A little bit of that is a joke, but like, not at all, really. So anyway, Jupiter's going to go into Gemini. It's going to finish 6 years worth of personal evolution since 2019. And the reason why that's very important is, once again, this Venus in Taurus is going to polish your 6th house and smoothen over the innovation and evolution of your lifestyle to support the finances and the wealth you're putting in. In other words, you have awakened this ability to manifest at such a godly level. Well, how are you going to integrate it? If I can manifest this, this, and this, well, what kind of grounded routine am I going to build around my ability to do that? And that's what you're establishing since 2019. And once you finish this, moving forward, Jupiter is going to go in your 7th house. Venus is going to go in your 7th house. 2026, Uranus is going to go in your 7th house. And this is going to represent 6 years worth of evolution towards what you communicate towards others. Because remember, you are the ascended being, the fire princess chosen by destiny to unlock through your personality the meaning of life, unlocking the truth about others. So you're about to truth blast the bejesus out of other people coming into the rest of this year and next year. And it's only going to be uncomfortable for fake people who can't really tell the truth to save their life. Good riddance. Anyway, next we have Sir Dominic. Okay. Reflection. We know that you got your sun in Leo and your moon in Capricorn. The reason why this is very, very important is because Pluto is opposite your sun right now. So I love you, the lion emoji. Be honest, bro. How intense is it to have Pluto opposite your sun at this stage too? It's very extreme. This is the strongest opposition. Does it feel like there's this extreme enmity towards the collective opposite you? Because it doesn't have to mean people are hating you. It can mean people are obsessed in love with you. All hater vibes. Okay, I knew it. I didn't want to assume. It's not in your head, bro. It's not in your head, bro. It's like the manufactured gun versus the lion. Aquarius is going to represent that detachment and cold steel versus the heart of the lion. So it is weird projections because you could just be triggering people with your confidence, but it's way deeper layered than that. So don't worry. This is not permanent. This is just going to add so much more psychological strength to you. But just keep that in mind. You also have North Node in Leo. You're part of the new gen. You have Uranus 2 degrees, Neptune 2 degrees, and Uranus 15 degrees on a South Node. You come from the ancient future, fam. And that sounds as crazy as it sounds because science puts Aquarius in science fiction, but you come from the ancient future. And the reason why that's important is Pluto is awakening your intuitive portal for the first time ever, which is going to open up how much more you're aware of the psychological, higher advanced knowledge of what's happening in a given environment. Those of you who are born in 99, 98, Pluto is awakening your shit. And over the rest of the decade, it's going to awaken more pronounced supernatural levels of claircognizance. As a Leo sun, you're going to be aware of this directly through other people. And of course, as a Capricorn rising, as a Sagittarius rising, this is going to awaken the abilities that allow you to project yourself as a spirit teacher. All right. The ninth house, golden light spirit teacher of destiny. Fam, you are such a main character. I'm sorry. By the way, you're such a main character. It's not even funny. So you are, of course, the great performer, right? The GOAT performer, the Cap Moon Leo Sun, the GOAT Golden King. And the reason why that's key is you have Saturn in Jupiter. That's why if you're born 98, 99 with Saturn in Taurus, especially with Jupiter in Taurus, this shit is going to hit y'all like no other person because you're already at such a young age establishing this wealth that's going to have you really be a pioneer and builder of the new earth when you have the Saturn return coming into the end of the decade. And of course, another Sag rising, we know that this is going to integrate the core of your soul power into how you feel you should integrate this creatively. And with Saturn squaring the Aquarius outer planets, this innovates the castles in the sky that you can ground through discipline in order to make very real. You have a very dope chart, bro. So like, yeah, it definitely is going to put you in a position to smoothen out not only how you're going to live your life moving forward, but it's also going to prepare for you to integrate this fully towards other people once this goes into Gemini and you start to really establish true partnerships that belong around you. Okay. So this, once again, is a lifestyle definition, but as a Leo sun, you're going to see how this polishing and activation of your lifestyle, Capricorn 270 degree from your sun, pushes forward your awareness of your success and career. How coming into greater success integrates more quality in the life you live, and vice versa. Vice versa. All right. So next we have Queen Aisha, Miss Ancient Rose. All right. We know you are the holy warrior. All right. With the queen, the Leo rising queen. And the reason why I love this is, of course, Ancient Rose, Venus is going to hook your career up and legacy up. I know you've progressed past this, but this is going to be such a good Venus return. For those of you born in the late 70s and 80s with Chiron and Taurus, please comment down below. I have a special message for you. All of you, and Bethany at Luna, I got your Venmo. All of you guys with Chiron and Taurus, I need you to understand your ability to heal naturally is skyrocketing. All of you guys with Uranus and Scorpio and Saturn and Leo or Virgo, you guys are the most relevant generation out of all the generations to complete a very important transit. Completing a transit like this is like building a railroad from California to New York or from Vegas to Cali. So now you're not building the train track anymore. It's built. Now there's a neural pathway with which flows smoothly back and forth. And for those of you with Chiron and Taurus, this Uranus and Jupiter and Taurus is literally awakening a much more powerful latent quality of natural healing ability. You guys can lay your hands on people more than ever and like heal them of AIDS. The 88 version, the 86, 85 Chiron and Gemini, that's healing communication. So it's an extension of that angelic communication where instead of just natural healing, they'll speak and it'll heal you. But we don't live in a perfect world, so it'll actually trigger the fuck out of people. Like they'll speak, people get triggered if they're bitches. But like, yes, with that being said, do I have room for another transit report? Sophia and the stars. If you mean the Venus snapshot transit report on my website, yes, I still have like 12 spots left. If you mean a live reading, yes, just click the description box below. Okay, so yeah, Aisha, this is not only going to align natural healing and value into your legacy and your career, but like every Leo rising, this is adding so much more pronounced quality to the success you're destined to manifest based on the past 4 years of work you've done relative to the 7th house angle that is now, of course, completing its harvest. All right. So this is going to initiate new cycles in the value you move forward with, in the goals you want to accomplish, in everything you're manifesting, in your reputation, in the natural wealth that you're going to command. And this is even more beautiful because your sun is in Aries. So this is, of course, going to be 30 to 60 degrees away from your sun, which is now not only happening in your career, but it's showing how your finances are going to skyrocket out of control. And that's what's going to definitively evolve your career, which is what I love about the fire double whammy. So as an Aries sun, you're manifesting that money. And as a Leo rising, that money you're manifesting is going to push your career forward. Simplest thing about that. So Venus is going to polish that value. It's going to smooth over some rough edges, and it's going to really set you up for amazing returns from now till September, by the time your 2nd house is activated and you're understanding the liquidity of everything that you already start manifesting right now. Okay. Next, we have Lady Luna. Still love when you see success. All right. So we know that you are the golden director. I love that. Oh my gosh, Bethany, you too at 2. Bethany, you are 100,000% getting contacted by me. Luna, sorry if I'm using your government. Luna, you are 100% getting contacted by me. You have Sun, Neptune, Uranus in the 7th house in Capricorn, also born 93. All right, so you're also from the realm of angels, which is awesome. Wait a minute, didn't I read your chart already right now? No. That was no, right. That was Calypso. So like, yeah. Shout out to both of you born the same year. So your rising is in Cancer, and this is what's going to apply in your 11th house, but your sun is in Capricorn. So you're going to be aware of this 120 degrees, the fifth house. So basically, how do we make sense of this? Your awareness of this Taurus transit is going to draw out your creativity of your spirit. How much more as a Capricorn sun you can produce the development of your inner child, the value of your talents and creativity. And as a Cancer rising, this expression of your talents and creativity is happening in the 11th house of friends you perform those talents to. That's why I love 7th house sun placements, because you guys literally have the best of both worlds when it comes to transits, which speaks a lot about the Libra signature. And because Uranus is trine our Uranus, which, by the way, if you were born 1990, 88, if you were born from 88 to 1998, you have Uranus in Taurus or Capricorn. Uranus and Capricorn is trining Uranus and Taurus right now. Uranus and Taurus is trining on Uranus and Cap. The moment that began to happen for me, I started to see automated income. So for many of you guys, this is automating a lot of what, opening up passive income. It is innovating the quality of what you do versus how you manifest it. So from your 7th to 11th house, especially, the integrity with which you innovate partnerships in the direction you take them is now manifesting the rich quality of who you feel belongs around you and what wealth is coming there too, because the North Node and Mars is moving forward in your 10th house, and you are finally taking action on everything you are destined to do to break through into this success, which is going to lead into so much rewards in the 11th house from this career. And all this is going to set you up to the beginning and middle of next year. So you're set for success. There's nothing you can really do to not come into this success, except like just completely sabotage it. So, and that's because you've already done what needs to be done to get here. So this is the period that's going to manifest and break this through. Hey, some of y'all got a lot of people jealous of you. Let's talk about it. And Luna, I think this applies to you too. It's like, certain people don't accept that. They don't like that you're expressing yourself. And it kind of ties into Amanda Seales too. I feel like people, I didn't look at that Amanda Seales interview. And maybe she could have been playing the victim, but I feel like there, even if it's just a little smidgen of truth in what she's saying, the whole factor that certain people do not like to see you communicate self-assuredly. Certain people want to see you walk around with your head down, like, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? And when you actually walk, like, there ain't nothing any of you bitches can tell me. Certain people have a problem with that. Certain people are going to just treat you differently off rip. And I feel like you're attracting a lot of jealousy from people who feel like they don't like that you sound more intelligent than them. They don't like that you're more well versed in what you do than they are at what they do. And so it's like now they have to undermine what you do, and it's just really an insecure projection. So just be mindful of that. Shout out to those of you with Saturn Aquarius who finished this. Bethany, the last thing I want to say is that with Jupiter in Gemini, 2024 is your release year. So you're getting ready for 2025, 2026, where Jupiter is going to go into Cancer and you're going to move forward and start with this next version of yourself. That means this year is the year that everything changes because you're coming into all of the success you're destined to come into. And you're going to release the old expectations. And then coming into next year, you've changed, you've manifested the success, and now you're moving forward with a new cycle. Okay. So I just wanted to kind of establish that. I think we're done here. Oh, Lady Nicolette. Let's see. I have a payment from Miss Escobar. Please email me your chart and we can get busy. Oh my goodness. Yes, this talk is most definitely available in replay. So this is available for everybody. Okay, Luna, much appreciated. You and Calypso are goddess level powerful. And when I make that documentary, I am contacting y'all 100,000%. Yeah. Let's see. Once again, Nicolette, I got your payment, but I don't have your chart. Unless this is Nicolette. Oh, I do have your chart. I do have your chart. I actually do. January 8th, 94. I'm assuming that's you. Logan, Utah. Wait, what? Oh, Nicolette Sophia. Yep. I got you. I got you. Moon in Pisces. Yep. All right. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So let's see what we got. And I got your Cash App, Lola J. Awesome. Awesome. So Nicolette, you are 29 degrees Capricorn rising, which is insane. Just right off the bat. You're like the GOAT's GOAT. You're like the director's director. So 29-degree risings are so significant. Drake has 29-degree Leo rising. President Trump has 29-degree Leo rising. And if you look at both of them and the mastery of performance and entertainment attached to their character, the degree of the rising counts. So 29 degrees Capricorn rising means that you have a mastery of integrity when it comes to controlling and directing your personality and character, which is at a collective level. That being said, divine soul, so you're soul elite on top of being spirit and embodiment of the elite. So you're fully elite. And on top of that, of course, because now the majority of your first house is in Aquarius, this is going to put so much of your fourth in Taurus. Are you moving? It's probably, did you move recently or are you moving? Because normally when the IC is getting triggered by Jupiter, you go through a move or you're innovating your inner home. You're renovating your home. You might be moving, but it doesn't mean you're going to move. That being said, your North Node is in Gemini. You have the Truther's destiny. Jupiter in Sag makes you an ultimate legend, ruler of your 12th. On Neptune, 29 degrees, which is nuts. So your 29 degree Sag Neptune is going to be squared by 29 degrees Pisces Neptune. This is a very crucial element over the next couple of years post retrograde as it goes into Aries, where you will begin to integrate the mastery of your intuitive portals through your imagination on the 12th house cusp relative to how you can evolve and see into the meaning of an experience beyond the physical. And I would say everything about that with the moon in Pisces gives you a very unique perspective, extra sensory perspective on life. So how do you communicate that? I really like the irony that your North Node is Gemini and you're destined to put all of that in words. So what is the creative element that's going to enable you to really communicate that? It's this foundation of values through Taurus that Venus will polish. And all this is going to set up the 5th house Gemini transit attached to the 6th house that's going to integrate all of this enlightened perspective and truth. But first, the innovation of these natural values, especially with Saturn in Scorpio, is what's going to really solidify all this in gear. Let's also not forget that you have Saturn on your moon. Saturn is currently on your moon right now. So this is definitely also going to add to the karma and the intensity of what it is you're doing. Thank you, Shelly Shell. With that being said, Mercury 0 degrees right next to Neptune means that your brain is quite literally synced with this ascended level of mastered intuition. Like you're the psychic. I don't even think you need cards or tools. Like you could just flow intuitively. But that 12th house lesson could be doubting yourself and not even seeing in the moment that you're like that. But I think you know by now. So Chiron 28 degrees is also another key here that I think is going to realistically push forward very powerfully and I think influence the grounded confidence with which you'll stand on and enable to finish integrating the cycle really well. As a Capricorn sun, this is going to also really uncover the unconscious influence of how much more creative you can be and what comfort zone you have evolved to be more creative, which will feel like you're a bit uncomfortable first before you, of course, step into these new clothes you've evolved into. So very, very impressive, super impressive. Next, we, of course, have Lola J. And we do have Sun in Virgo, Moon in Pisces. So you are the divine master, and your rising is in Leo. So you're the solar queen. Your title is of queen, and you're the spirit and soul princess. Let's talk about Pisces moon and Virgo sun. Whereas Virgo moon is feeling into the analytical, physical nature of experience that as a Pisces sun can help you see into the metaphysical. The Pisces moon feels into the metaphysical, and that enables you to be aware analytically of the physical. Michael Jackson, classic example. Thank you, Zol. I just got that. So with that being said, as a Leo rising, you manifest magic. Off rip. I'm a Taurus rising. Happy birthday, Jeremy. Happy birthday, King. Congrats. As a Taurus rising, I have a Gemini sun. As a Leo rising, you have a Virgo sun. So like people are paying me so that I can talk. That's my magic. I manifest the magic of enlightenment, truth, clarity. But you have a higher level of potential because mine is individual one-on-one. As a Leo rising, you manifest the Virgo magic. So whereas Gemini magic is going to be more communicative, audio tapes, Virgo is going to be the gift basket. It's going to be the herbology. Like you have the spirit of mastery and critical awareness and analysis. If my Gemini is experimentative, your Virgo sun is analytical. You have to experiment first and you analyze the results. So it's a step up. And as the solar queen, that's going to be a lot more bold in your expression. This puts Taurus in your 10th house. And having the Pisces moon is awakening with Saturn and Neptune there, your capacity to really feel into the entire collective around you. So knowing that Taurus is your 10th house is putting you in a position to manifest so much wealth. And that's the coolest thing about having Taurus in the 10th house. It takes the longest for success, but you guys have lifelong wealth afterwards because Taurus is the slowest vibration, but it's so grounded, right? It's not just going to be here and then leave tomorrow. Your MC is 13 degrees Aries. So the North Node is also activating this element of you unlocking success. All right. And everything you're doing right now is everything you're destined to do originally, moving in an authentic direction to not only come into success, but then to manifest the value of that in your career through Taurus. Everything that as a Virgo sun is 9th house to your sun. It makes a 240-degree angle to your sun. And it's going to it's going to completely now ground the philosophical approach you will take towards what you think you need to for success. All right, and success for you. So Venus here is going to also give you amazing opportunities to put yourself out there. And in putting yourself out there, gain opportunities. Great period to be visible. Great period to come into unexpected windfalls of income through September, where your 2nd house in Virgo will be activated, your sun. And I would just be very excited, especially knowing your Leo rising. Jupiter going into your 11th in Gemini is going to expand the entourage of true friends and angels who you belong around so that you can now communicate towards colleagues the plans you have and the wealth you're coming into. All right. So that's really the major deal here. Mars transiting your MC and Venus and Uranus and Jupiter all in your 10th. Like this is all career focused. And as a Virgo sun, you are quite literally adjusting the philosophical approach around what success looks like for you and what you're coming into. All right. So very lucrative. Once again, Venus there is going to be really good for career. If you need a raise, if you may get a promotion, but it's good for putting yourself out there because you will gain more visibility and you're going to charm so much more people. So Dewan, let's do it. We see that you are new gen 97. So you got Jupiter Aquarius, Uranus Aquarius, everything that Pluto is awakening right now. And when it retrogrades back into Capricorn, it's going to awaken your 28-degree Neptune in Capricorn. Fam, you need to understand. Oh, no. You're Aquarius, son. No. You're like Tyler Harrow. So you guys are the generation of celestials that are just like alien gods. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not trying to glaze you too, bro. This is crazy. Shout out to Christian Dixie. You're Sun Jupiter like Kanye West. You are a celestial god. Just have to say that clear. My use of the term God is more of like a lord. It's not like I praise and worship you. You can manipulate the weather. That type of God. Like if you were to just get angry and you're an angel soul. I need to give you this alien construct article. So you have the soul of an angel, you're an ascended being, Sag rising, and you're a celestial king wizard. When I say celestial king wizard, I mean King Aquarius royalty, celestial advanced universal quality wizard, Uranus, Neptune. Like you can manipulate the weather. You have claircognizance at a level with which it's a skill. You have this very innovative attitude that with Taurus in your 6th house requires the discipline necessary to integrate these castles in the sky. Otherwise, they're just going to be beliefs that you think you can do. But this, of course, now squaring all this Aquarius stellium is taking the advanced knowledge of how you think and how you speak knowledge to the collective. And it's helping you build a lifestyle. It's helping you build a routine. It's helping you perfect the technique of your claircognizant supernatural abilities as a pioneer and Saturn Aries leader of the new school of the next generation. You are one of the head pioneers of the people who I was talking about that the older generation is afraid of. All right. So this is very, very, very powerful because before Jupiter evolves your soul coming into the next stage, right? And I like that your moon is close to the DC. This Taurus transit is going to smooth over the integration of everything that you've done since 2019 into 2020 to evolve your personality in the first place and to prepare you to come of age, brother. So I would really focus on what routines are you ready to establish? Exercise regimens. Are you ready to start and commit to something new? This is also a great time to come into work too. And with Taurus, work that you may individually produce yourself. So yeah, that's the integration game for you. And as Aquarius sun, it's going to be 90 degrees. So what about your lifestyle and daily routine are you getting comfortable with? That is the reconstruction, and take your time with it. You will have all of May to really understand. And once we step into next week, May 8th, you'll be initiating that new cycle that will fully harvest by November. So yeah, you have like 6 months to really take your time with it. And there's going to be innovative qualities in your lifestyle that will have you manifesting a routine that no one else really lives like that. It's very unconventional. All right. So I'm out of here. It looks like we're done. There's no more live readings. Once again, for those of you who want a snapshot transit report, please hit up my website. Okay. You guys stay blessed as always. And until next time.